As both major political parties in the land conclude plans for their special elective congresses in preparation for the forthcoming general election, a growing list of aspirants have been picking up their nomination forms in spite of the exorbitant rates advertised. Some presidential aspirants on the platform of the All Progressives Congress appear to have bought the nomination forms at great personal cost because of their perceived insensitivity to situations currently unfolding in their ministerial jurisdictions. In this category are Minister of State for Education, Chukwuemeka Nwajuba, Minister of Labor and Employment, Chris Ngige, and their counterpart in the Ministry of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi. Joining us now to speak on these critical political issues going into the 2023 general elections is a lawyer and political analyst, Chris Nwokobia. Welcome to Newsday.
It's my pleasure to be on with you.
Thank you so much. I'd like to begin by asking you what your thoughts. We heard some comments about the price of the nomination forms, and the ruling party said that it was a way of separating those candidates who are unserious from those who are actually serious. What do you make of that comment?
I've said 1,001 times that predominantly when we make hooplas and debate out of what parties have chosen to do, in their own estimation, to reduce the number of aspirants, if you like, to sift between pretenders and serious contenders. It's a different ballgame. I think that what Nigerians who are appalled by the cost of nomination forms should do is to ask for a proper review of the limits and the margins of campaign funding. And I say this advisedly. Obviously, like you noted in your opening remarks, the deterrence or the deterrent, if you like, that the cost of nomination form should have placed hasn't come because, as it were, the governance of a country of over 200 million people is a big job, and everybody wants to be involved in it. If you like, also, perhaps because the shoe appears thinner than it used to be. So Nigerians believe that, and so many Nigerians believe that they can perform well as president. So what is important for us is to address going forward how we limit, if you like, the margins of campaign funding.
Interesting development, Chris. But let's talk about the aspirants themselves. Can you narrow down the growing list of aspirants from the main parties to 3 or 4 individuals that could be president come 2023, or at least have the potentials to be, you think, irrespective of party lines?
Let me say clearly that on our political amphitheater, I can particularly and dispassionately name about 3 strong contenders. The first is the youngest of them all, the governor of Kogi State, Governor Yahaya Adoza Bello. And then the second is the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. The third is in a different party, is the former governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi. These are predominantly people I see who are ready, dispassionately interested and committed to the purpose of fixing our country. But if you ask me further, where would I rather, or who would I rather become the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria come 2023? I'll tell you the youngest of them all, and I have my reasons.
And that reason being?
Number one, in the 21st century, we have consistently talked about the need for gender inclusivity, gender parity, and it is not in Rwanda that you have the highest gender inclusivity in Africa. It is in the state of Kogi. In the state of Kogi, you have every state deputy chairman of local government is a woman. You have the ADC to the governor as a woman. You have the secretary to the state government a woman. You have at every level parastatals headed by women, because that young man believes that together with women we can fix the jangling discord of our nation into a profound and a boisterous symphony of brotherhood. He also has the highest youth inclusiveness in governance. And that's what we're talking about. If you consistently try an old chapter and it doesn't seem to be working, it's only logical, like the great philosopher would say, that it is insanity to keep trying the same old practice, and if it's not working, you keep trying it. What is logical, trite, and proper is that you try a new thing. And the young man is saying that together with the masses of our people, women, children, and the disabled, and indeed the youths, we can transform the jangling discord of our country. We can make our country better. We can reset, refix, and rework our country. And that's why I would rather the young man from Kogi.
All right, Chris, still talking about specifically the APC now, and with the caliber of candidates or aspirants, do you envisage a fair and equitable primaries, or it's the usual money politics in this regard?
No, I think that after the convention of the APC, we saw a penchant, a proclivity for that which is right. And the president has said, in no uncertain terms, that he would allow a level playing field, and I expect and hope that he will. The party chairman, Adamu, has said clearly that he would ensure that nobody has a better calling, a better estate in the primaries, and I believe he will. The same thing goes for the PDP. You've seen what is happening at the level of the party. Their effort at ensuring that they shift the contenders from the pretenders. I want to say something that will excite you, if you like, or make you laugh. Even in the party called the All Progressive Congress, the APC, some who otherwise the masses of our people say are contenders are praying in the Holy Land, whilst proteges or surrogates are buying their presidential nomination form. I think that in a country in need of leadership, the first thing to do is to prioritize leadership. If you want to govern a country of 200 million people, you make that an unalterable commitment, a serious business. You don't send proteges, you don't send proxies to go buy you a form. And with respect to the Governor Emeritus of Lagos State, the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu people, I think it's a poor strategy. I have said repeatedly that the time for us to do what is proper and right and right is now. Nigerians must make leadership a commitment not only to personal ambition, but to destiny, to fate, and to the hope that the masses of our people expect and crave. That is why the young man from Kogi, Governor Yahaya Bello, has said that his mantra is Hope 2023, away from his believing that collectively the Nigerian people will key into the hope that Chief Emko Abiola 30 years ago epitomized. And interestingly, it's a massive movement. Just yesterday you saw Masop endorsing his candidacy. Across this country, Nigerians are saying that it's time to try a new tendency, a new dispensation, a new era, and the time to believe that the young people can do it is now.
Well, I'm sure we're pressed for time, but I'm just curious if any of the candidates that you said interest you in terms of being the next president of Nigeria actually prioritize, which of the candidates are prioritizing the rights of children, because we know that the focus now has been on women and also youth, but who is prioritizing children, because they matter as well and their rights need to be implemented and addressed?
However, interestingly, if you prioritize women, you unavoidably and inevitably prioritize children, because tied to mothers are their siblings, are their children. And I say with the greatest sense of respect that the future of our nation devolves on a new tendency. We must think out of the box. We must stop brandishing and branding, oh, who is the godfather, who has done so much before, or who hasn't done. Nigeria is in dire need of a leader who can think on his feet. Nigeria is in dire need of a leader who loves the people, who cares about his people, and is ready to give his life for our nation. And I say without fear of querulous critics that the reason I would unequivocally put Yahaya Bello ahead of the others is the fact that had the vice president entered the race of his own accord, not allowing Nigerians across the country to put the pressure on him. Because the quest for leadership should be a massive individual decision. You must want to serve. You must want to give your best and your all to your nation. And I do sincerely think that going forward, the debate will deepen and will tell Nigerians who is committed, who has sworn upon the altar of God and individual faith to serve and salvage our country. And I believe that sooner rather than later, you'll see the man who's ready to bet and bet a new Nigeria.
Indeed, Chris, the sifting will come soon enough regarding those who will attain that mantle of leadership. Now, I'd still like your thoughts on the issue of zoning and consensus considerations, which has been on the front burner towards the run-up to the elections next year. And of course, the Southeast has been vocal about its chances lately. What do you make of that development?
Let me say very clearly that oftentimes I've said that in trying to solve the problems of today, you don't create problems for tomorrow. Let me say that very importantly, as you and I talk, if I were to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria today, and my son that I've put so much into grooming becomes the best item after me, Nigerians, if we allow zoning to be the normative and the discussion across board, would say to him, your dad has been president, so you cannot be. So in trying to right the injustices of today, we must not create greater problems for tomorrow. Let me tell you what we must do as Nigerians and as the people desirous of great change. My good friend and brother Raf Wazirike said that yesterday, that Nigeria is not in need of an ethnic or regional leader. Nigeria is in need of a patriot who believes that he can fix our country. What I advise my brothers from the Southeast, I'm Igbo, I hope you know, is to go and create something like Oduad, like the Yorubas did. There's so much in the Southeast to thrive on and to build on, and collectively come to the nation and to ask for the rights of citizenship. And the rights of citizenship necessarily does not mean rotational presidency or zoning of power. Zoning of power, what has power zoned to the north done for the north? What has power in the southwest done for the southwest? What this country is in need of is a competent, passionate, committed, and a leader with capacity, not an ethnic leader. And so I do not subscribe to the argument for zoning. Zoning is in attempting to solve today's problem, creating a future problem. And I do not think that's the way to go. There are several constitutional normatives that we must correct and right as a nation. Issues of true fiscal federalism, issue of devolution of power, issues of zones and sectors of this country exploiting their resources for comparative growth. I think those things must be addressed when we get to 2023. Beyond that, those who are talking about zoning are just trying to narrow down the political space for selfish gain.
Interesting perspective on those issues. Hopefully the word will get to those that matters. We've been speaking with Chris Nwokobia, a political analyst and of course a lawyer. It's good to have you with us on the show.